You're 29, you're 30, you should be married. Why are you not married? There must be something wrong with you. So you start feeling like that person's wasting my time, or I'm wasting time. DegloireSpace signing in. Today I want to address the idea of time wasting. You know, these days it's very common when people first start a relationship, they say, this person's going to waste my time, so I'm not going to be with them. Or after a while in a relationship, someone will say to the other person, look, where is this going? I don't want to waste time. Now, if you think about the very notion of this, I don't want to waste time. What does this mean? It means you're not present with the person. It means your goal is more important than the person. Now, I understand that sometimes you have a goal. The goal might be, I want to have kids. The goal might be, I want paperwork. I want you to, you need to sign the papers. And I can understand that that's a goal that someone could have. But if that's your goal, you are more likely to get scammed. You're more likely to get your time wasted. You're more likely to not be living totally in that relationship. Because for you, the important part is getting that stuff done. And if that's not done, then you are going to conceive it as time wasting. Connection is not your number one thing. Because if connection is your number one thing, time cannot be wasted. Firstly, time doesn't belong to you to be wasted. And whatever you go through, whether it's someone who in the end leaves you, or whether they stay with you, or whatever happens, it means you needed that. Whatever you went through, you needed that. For you to fall into it, it means there's something in it that pulled you in and kept you there. And if something is able to pull you in, it means somewhere inside you, you invested and you needed it. So what I'm trying to say is, time wasting is an illusion. If somebody can waste your time, it means you saw something in it. You needed this adventure. You needed this experience. You shouldn't be investing in this relationship and then years later say to the person, hey, this is my ultimatum. I don't want to waste any more time with you. What do you mean you wasted time? If you wasted time, that means you were never present. It means you, in fact, just wanted your thing. And when you did not get your thing, you're upset about it. You're not upset about the relationship. You're not looking at it. You're looking at, what can you serve me? You're not looking at it as, I'm present here, I'm in love here. And you see, time is going to pass. Time is going to pass with that person, without that person. Why not see what attracts you to this person? What pulls you into this person? That thing that pulls you in, that's your real time waster. That's what you need to spend your time in. Something inside you needs to grow with this thing. No one can waste your time. Whatever you do, you are doing willingly. Something inside you has allowed you to jump into this. Think about it. If you're a woman, how many guys came and approached you? Why did you choose that particular one? What made you go for that one? And if you're a guy and you're approaching different girls, what made you give your time into this person? What made you take the next step with that person so that you say to yourself, I'm going to be spending more time with this person? That thing that pulled you in, that in fact is what you need to go through. And once you've gone through it, either that person is going to be the person you're going to take the next step with, or it's not going to be that person. You're going to have to move on with somebody else, or move on alone for a while. Because the people you meet in your life, they help you discover who you are. The people that you spend time with and energy with, these people reveal to you what you like, what you don't like. There are images that when we're young, we think we like. And then when we deal with those images, we start finding that it's not what I thought it was. It could be, for example, when you're, 15 years old, 14 years old, you create an image of what your perfect person would look like. And then when you deal with it in person, you might be like, it wasn't as I thought. It wasn't what I needed. And then you meet something that you probably initially were not attracted to. and didn't really call out for you. And then you found that that is actually more in tune with you. So that's another reason why time wasting doesn't really exist. Whatever you go through needs you to go through it so that you can grow into the next phase. And this idea of phases in life is another important idea for you to avoid thinking about time wasting. We go through phases. A phase could last for a few years, could be a few months, could be whatever. You know, that time period, once it goes through and then that phase ends, you go into a new phase and your needs will be different. Time wasting says that you are the same all through. Now, usually time wasting is due to that feeling, that idea comes from pressure, outside pressure. The pressure you gain from social standards, like for example, when they tell a woman, you need to have a kid by that time. When they tell a man, you need to have a job that produces that much money by this time. When they tell a man, you need to have your life worked out by this particular time. These are all things that put in our life or in our ideas, things that we consider time wasting. So we've built a standard based on what people have told us, and then we believe that what doesn't, and this belief becomes deeply ingrained in us because we start measuring people and judging people based on those standards. Somebody being successful means they meet those standards. And success then becomes, why am I not achieving those things by that time? That means that person's wasting my time. Why am I not achieving this? That means this thing has wasted my time. And then what happens is you're too busy thinking about time wasting rather than learning the lesson in front of you. And you end up wasting more time by repeating the same ideas, the same phases, because you're too busy focused on, why am I not achieving what they've told me? Why am I not getting to that point why they've told me, rather than seeing what's in front of you? I'll give you a quick example. You might get into a relationship, and the real reason why you got into that relationship is to learn decision making. You're somebody who doesn't know how to make decisions. So you get into this relationship and it's always pushing you to make a decision. I need to leave this person. I need to stay with this person. I need to speak my mind. And you don't do that. You keep ignoring it. Instead, you're looking at, why am I not married to this person? Because that's what society tells you by, you're 29, you're 30, you should be married. Why are you not married? There must be something wrong with you. So you start feeling like that person's wasting my time or I'm wasting time. Rather than feeling like, okay, I'm here, I learned decision making. You never know. If you learn that lesson, that decision making, for example, it might actually change the way you look in that person's eyes, and then their actions change towards you. In other words, stop measuring things by, I'm wasting time, you wasted my time. Stop measuring by that, because that is hurtful. It is hurtful to you, and further, it produces a desperate version of you. You become desperate. You're like, I wasted my time. Now I'm going to jump into the next thing. And, if it's a girl, I'm going to get pregnant by this person. Or I'm going to jump into this next relationship. If you're a guy, I need to get married to this so that people can see that I'm successful. Be careful of that idea. If you are thinking time wasting, then you are a sucker to some outside standard. If you are going by your standard, by a standard that you have seen, and you're going through your phases correctly, you will feel like every part of your life, every phase stood for something. Every phase you learned something. Every phase you grew with something. DegloireSpace signing out.